Well, good day viewers. Today we have a 2014 Kia Rondo. It's my understanding these vehicles were never sold into the US market, only sold in Canada. Kia Rondo. And it's here because it's got a fuel leak already. So when the tank is over half a tank, it leaks in this front corner here. That's penetrating fluid that I sprayed on the bolts for the straps. In this corner here it leaks. So I expect the seam is compromised. They had to buy a new tank from the dealer because aftermarket's not available. I sprayed penetrating fluid on that hose. The fuel tank is virtually empty right now. It has a check engine light on and a P0456 for a small leak detected, which would be concurrent with a fuel leak. Like I said, the customer bought a new fuel tank right from the dealer because it's not available aftermarket. I don't know if that's the part number or if that's the part number. Let's have a look at this baby. So typical for a new part, it doesn't come with a new seal or any of the fasteners that hold the fuel pump sending unit in. I wonder if that's accessible through the under the back seat. Regardless, maybe I should check that first. I noticed this tank is coated. It's still steel, which is stupid in today's technology. Everything should be plastic, but it's coated at least. Not that it's going to stop it from leaking at these seams where the coating isn't attached, but I'm going to spray some additional undercoating on there once it's in. So let's see what we got to do to take this tank out. So it doesn't appear that there's an easy access hole under the back seat, because that would be directly in that area there. The seats are bolted to the floor, so these ones move fore and aft. So I'm just going to take the tank out from the bottom. So there is an access hole under the back seat, but I've lowered the tank. It's virtually empty, so that makes it quite easy. It's not heavy. And I've got one of these connectors unplugged. So I'm going to try and get these two connectors unplugged. There's a release tab on the connector, but it's cold, so it's stiff. And then this vent line here, take that off. Take it down with the tank, and hopefully then I can drop the tank a little further to see the fuel line coming out of the pump. So I've got the line, or the evap line disconnected. Squeeze these two tabs in and pull the hose off the charcoal canister here. Got the wires disconnected. All that's left up there is the fuel line, which I have to reach up and undo. But I see now that I've tilted the tank down, you can see it's leaking out of the rusted hole there. Wow, that's pretty bad. So to remove the fuel line, squeeze these two little blue tabs in and push it straight off. I disconnected the fuel line from the body so that I could pull it down somewhat with the tank. There's the tank out. Now hopefully we can get these bolts out. They don't look too bad. I'm going to put a new clamp on here on both these hoses. There's probably about 3 or 4 gallons in the tank still, even though the gauge said empty. It's going to be easier to put the new one in because it's empty. So there's the new O-ring installed. Got the fuel pump out of the old tank. Wasn't much fuel left in it. Come on, you can go in there. Came out. There we go. And we'll put the lock ring back on. Reuse the original bolts. So there's the pump reinstalled in the new tank. I'll leave this piece of tape on here. I'm not going to put that hose on until after I put the tank in. Yeah, I just threw a little bit of paint on the ring to slow down the rust. Transfer these sound insulators. They got self-sticky on them. That's all you really need. Once they're up there, they can't go anywhere. And we're ready to reinstall the tank. So there is a heat shield because the exhaust pipe runs near here. So I've removed the heat shield from the original tank. It's pretty rusty. It's held on with a strap. But I don't want to put screws through this. I'm going to see if I can put a couple of small bolts in here. So I noticed the new tank didn't have this anti-siphon valve after I took the hose off. So I pried it out by putting a pair of adjustable wrench like this and a bar like so to pry it out of there. Hopefully it fits in the new tank. That's a anti-siphon valve. Prevents somebody from siphoning the fuel out of the tank. Just like that. Tap it in place. So there's the new tank installed. I give it a liberal coating of rubberized undercoating around the seam and the straps. Put that heat shield back on. Oh, I'm gonna miss a spot there. I'm gonna spray that. Connected the evap vent hose, new clamps on the hose. I sprayed some extra tar around the filler pipe, hopefully stop the salt from attacking it like it did the last time, although I don't think the original tank was coated. Well, it looks like it was coated. Just not very well coated. These little electric transfer pumps come in really handy. So when it was here a month ago, it had this P0456 and 442. I haven't had the battery disconnected now, so I'm going to see what codes are in it. Probably, I suspect, the same codes, probably due to the leaking gas tank. We'll see if we can do a purge and seal test or something like that. If not, we'll give it back to the customer and let him drive it for a few days. Chances are it won't fail an evap test anyways. It's got 107,000 kilometers on it. Didn't pull the VIN, or didn't pull the mileage out of it. Codes 442 and 455. So we're just going to clear these codes. I got it running. I wonder if it'll let me clear them while it's running. Let's see. Yeah, it did. So I'll just see if there's the ability to do an evap test, engine off test, engine running tests. The test to work, the engine must be running. Yeah, it's running. List of supported actuator tests. Open loop variable intake injector, injector, CVT. No. Let's see if there is a system test. In right, reset adaptives, no. Generic functions. Well, we're just going to give it back to the customer and let them drive it for a few days. Chances are it won't come on until March anyways, because it typically doesn't run the evap test unless it's above freezing. And guess what? It's almost New Year's. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.